the 1840s, the Irish potato famine happened. Or, in Irish they call it Angor to Mór. And what happened was, millions, I think 2 million, fled to the Americas for a better life, left Ireland, and 30,000 people from Ireland came here from the Bay, or the Gulf of St. Lawrence, down the St. Lawrence River, past Quebec, into Lake Ontario here in Canada, and 30,000 Irish people made a new start here in the city of Toronto. A city with a population of 20,000 people saw an influx in the space of 10 years of 30,000 Irishmen, mainly coming from Ulster Scots background as well. Now, Toronto here is known as the Belfast of North America. As a result, the majority of Irishmen that left from Belfast came from that sort of background. So you had a mix of Protestants and Catholic Irish. So the orange and green Irish came here, and you can see here the memorial here to the Irish in the famine. In fact, these were commissioned or donated by the gentleman who did the very same statues in Dublin. So you can see these along the River Liffey as well in Dublin. I think it was a gentleman by the name of Gillespie. So this is a memorial dedicated to Angor to Mór, Toronto. It's had a predominant impact to the city's demographics. There's a reason why this place is called the Belfast of North America. Left in coffin ships, many didn't make the full journey. Typhus, diseases like that were out there everywhere in them ships. So you were very lucky if you made it out and made a successful life out here in the New World, but people were willing to take that risk since the famine devastated Ireland, in Ulster, in Leinster, in Connaught and Munster. It was awful. See here the names of people who emigrated from Ireland. I don't know if it's pick it up. You can see here Gilroy, Higgins, Melbourne, Judd, Sheriff, Nash, Donnelly, names of Ulster Scots and of Gael. Toronto is what it is today because of the Irish. So the Orange Order, as discussed, had influence in Toronto. Now, it had influence before the famine because there was Ulster Scots pioneers in through Canada for years before. However, it was most prominent in the 19th century as a result of the famine. So, because there was a mix between Orange and Green Irish coming in, yes, it increased the Orange Order. There was about 1,000 lodges at its peak in Canada. 1 in 3 Protestants were part of the Orange Order in Canada. But there was also an influx of Gael Irish. Now this threatened the Orange Order. They panicked because they didn't want Toronto to become a city like New York, because New York, what happened was they had a heavy influence of Green Irish immigrants, and they saw that as a threat to their status and position in this Canadian city, loyal to the crown. Especially after you think the War of 1812 here, people were very paranoid of bringing in Republican elements to the city here. So the Orange Order believed that they wanted to protect the status of the crown. The Orange Order had political significance in Canada and Toronto itself. Countless mayors in Toronto were part of the Orange Order. 10 premiers of Canada were part of the Orange Order in its history. 4 prime ministers of Canada were part of the Orange Order. So where's the Orange Order now? I can't see it anywhere. Let's find out if there's any lodges left, or if the Orange is still alive and well. Well, I've also found some more Irish influence in this beautiful city. You can see here. That's Irish enough to me. So I'm walking past here St Andrew's Church, Presbyterian Church. The Presbyterians have had a massive influence in Toronto here and in Canada. With Presbyterians coming from Scotland, also in Ireland and Ulster at the time, and many of them Presbyterians would have been in the Orange Lodge. I believe 1/3 of Protestants in Toronto were part of the Orange Lodge at its peak in 1920. But there we are. Lovely example of architecture here. And they have a museum open, so we can have a wee look. Museum, look at this. Majesty of the Queen. So cool. See the old uniforms. River as well. The Scottish had a massive influence in Canada as well. You have a region known as Nova Scotia, with their city Halifax, or the Halifax, in Scotland. So it's clear the Scottish have a massive influence, just as the Irish have. So that's very fascinating. I was talking to the curator of the museum, and they have Scotch-Irish ancestry themselves. They were saying nearly all members of this Presbyterian church at its time were members of the Orange Lodge. It's very fascinating. And I also got a take on what happened to the contemporary Orange Lodge, and it became sort of like a financial beneficiary group. And 30 years ago, unfortunately, there was corruption, and that led to a decline in the Orange Order and the Orange Lodge's legitimacy here in Canada. So unfortunately there has been a decline, but the gentleman Raphael, said it's still in existence. He knows many people that are still in it. They still do their band parades on the 12th of July, so like there is still a presence of Orange Irish and Irish culture here, and of course Scottish culture. So I'm here at the St. Lawrence Market. I think this is the place to go when you're feeling pretty hungry. So we'll see what the food's like in here. Looks pretty cool. It's like a wee barn in the city. So we'll have a wee look round. It's pretty nice looking too. Hi there, can I get a martini, please? What's your favorite barbecue? Barbecue and ketchup, please, yeah. Cash, please. $8, there you are. Thank you very much, sir. Right, we'll give this a try, see what it's like. Well, this is a feed and a half, like a state of this. It's going to go down well, I can imagine. I doubt I'm going to get a seat, so I'll just wander about and eat this as I go. That's pretty good. It is boiling out here. I'm going to check out one of the lodges, see if it's still there, so come and join me. It's a shame. I'm not going to be there, so I won't be able to see any. Well, the price is expensive, but I would have been able to see it in a bar in Toronto. It would have been class, but heck, is what it is. Mount Shepherd Young, as they call it. That doesn't look like an Orange Lodge to me. A cosmetic clinic. Right? So I don't think it exists anymore. But like you can see there, Grand Orange Lodge, HQ inside. So I'm not sure. It must have shut down. Not sure. That's a terrible shame. So it's no longer in existence. That is a terrible shame. But it's clear that the legacy of the Orange in Ulster's Guts had an influence in Canada and Toronto at a point. Oh, that's it, shut down. When I was looking at it in Google Maps, I think that place was shut down in 2016, so 10 years ago. I don't know how these orange men could cope in this Canadian weather. I tell you what, instead of orange men, it'd be red sunburnt men. Off the bus, I think I'm in Brookdale Shopping Centre now, so have a look around. There's something I need to get. Happy days, thank you. Visiting from Ireland, Belfast.
Okay.
So everywhere I travel, I just get it stamped on it as well. Cheers. Isn't it? So I'm visiting Canada, so I'm doing Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, then into Quebec City, then from there into the States, into New York and DC. So it should be a good trip.
Okay, yeah.
Really big thing. Well, I'm looking forward to it anyways, and yeah, I'm enjoying Toronto. Alright, have a good one. Alright. Right, so I've just left the shopping mall, the shopping centre here in Yorkdale. Now I'm going to head back into the city centre. But you'll be surprised the name of this street. So I'm here in Dufferin Street, named after Lord Dufferin from County Down. In fact, there's a statue of him in Belfast City Hall. Why is a street named after someone from County Down? So Lord Dufferin was a very prestigious diplomat in the 19th century. He was Governor General of Canada in the mid-19th century, and he's probably one of the most famous Governor Generals, most respected Governor General amongst the Canadians, one of the modernisers of the Canadian Confederation. In fact, he met with the indigenous populations, recognised their need to be recognised and accepted as Canadian. He also visited many parts of Canada as well, to Quebec to make the Québécois feel included in Canada and under the Crown. So he had a fantastic job, and the people of Canada really respect him. So they're a bit of Ulster Scots influence in Canada. Named after this street, after Lord and Lady Dufferin. That street's named after Andrew here. If you know, you know. Okay, so I'm out of my costume. I had a quick freshen up there because my goodness, the weather does you in. So I'm going to explore the old town, get some dinner, and that'll do me for the day. There we are. More evidence of the influence of the Irish. So that was a decent sandwich. That cost me 12 Canadian dollars, so like around £6. That was tasty. Probably a lot nicer than what we have at home, but that said, I still like Tim Hortons at home. Wouldn't be my go-to, but when in Rome, do as the Romans. Seem to be right in downtown now. quite the atmosphere all the same. I'm just walking into the Eaton Centre here in Toronto. As you can see here on the sign, believe it or not, the Eaton Centre is named after a man from Ballymena direction in Clougher named Timothy, and he was in the department store business. He got trained in Port Glenone, and then after getting trained in Port Glenone, he moved to Canada here to make a life for himself. He became most famous for the department store Eaton's here in Toronto. And unfortunately, the business ended in 1999. However, this centre here is still dedicated the name to his company here. So it's clear that people from Northern Ireland with Irish heritage, Ulster heritage, have had an impact in Toronto. Everyone knows of Eaton's here in Toronto. Is the old City Hall of Toronto. Look at it. Beautiful, beautiful architecture. Absolutely beautiful. This is where the mayors would govern Toronto, I guess. The mayors I was on about, many of whom back in the 19th century were Orange Irish, part of the Orange Order. So this is where they would have made all the political decisions to make the city function. So that is very fascinating. What a beautiful building. As you'll see here, a cenotaph of sorts commemorating Canadians who gave their life for Canada and the Crown. So you can see the old flag of Canada, the red ensign, as they call it, and the modern flag there as well, dedicated to the glorious dead. And glorious they certainly are. Passendale, Amiens, Arras, Henry, places where the Ulster Division have also served near. Amiens, I was in Amiens a few years ago. Beside Amiens is Albert, where the 36th Ulster Division fought in the Somme alongside the Canadian brethren on the Western Front. Magnificent. I'll not lie, after exploring off Toronto, I'm feeling pretty parched. I would love a drink, especially after that St. Hortons burger. That little cup did not do me enough. I'd love a nice Irish beer and some local beer as well. What is that in the distance? Happy days. There's a pub there. Belfast Love. Another influence of Belfast in the city. Let's give it a try.
Strawberry coconut walnut. Strawberry coconut?
Just get a regular old fashioned.
Regular old fashioned?
3 pints later, having a good time. Had a Guinness. Guinness was an 8 out of 10, very good Guinness. And then I had 2 local Canadian beers, and gosh, they're rake the stomach off you, I tell you. So we'll head back to Hostel. That'll do me for the night. Beautiful evening. Lovely. Love Canada. That doesn't look good. We're gonna break a fuse. Bagfuls. Clearly. So you can see behind me the rapids of the River Niagara, which flows from the River Erie into Lake, or not the River Erie, the Lake Erie into Lake Ontario. And you can see straight in front of me, or behind me, your camera, your view, that there is Buffalo, New York in the United States of America, and I am here in Canada. I've heard stories of ones going down this in barrels, believe it or not. Some survived, a lot of them died. I think they got a lot of money for doing that. That was like in the early 20th century, they were doing stunts like that down the waterfall. I don't imagine how anyone could when you see the state of this, my goodness. Right, I think I've had enough of looking at these waterfalls. I'm going to have a wee wander about the town, see what's about. I'll take you along, see what there is. Yeah, so I'm just walking about, seeing what the town's like. It's really nice, really peaceful once you leave the waterfalls area. It's like a dead old place. Oh my goodness. An orange wall. Would you look at that? That's pretty cool. So there we are. Another indication of heritage, Ulster Scots heritage here. And you can see William of Orange on the sign there, near the crown. Not cool. So there, an orange hall still open, alive and well here. Was it 1966? Wow, absolutely amazing. Well, remember, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's going to be more videos coming up here in America and Canada, so remember, like and subscribe.